How you guys doing? Thanks for watching. This is George at Wicked Warnings. We're your #1 source for construction and emergency, safety, and strobe lighting equipment for your brand new cars, vans, trucks, buses, SUVs, bicycles, tricycles, maybe perhaps your brand new Chevy Equinox, like this nice, beautiful black car we have. Come all the way down from about 6 hours away, northern Michigan, to get a little bit of the Wicked Warnings touch on this particular vehicle. What you're looking at right now is an En-ROADS Fleet Series 48-inch light bar. Now that's by Sound Off Signal, a recent partner of ours. We're going to use a lot more of their equipment here soon. That's an En-ROADS 48-inch Fleet Series Sound Off Signal light bar, special order. We've got it programmed in cruise mode right now, which is going to light the corners for this customer in a dim amber. I think that's about 50% of normal brightness right there, maybe about 30%. And that lights up the corners just for cruise mode. Here you can see the side shot of it there. It's basically all 4 corner modules. Now you can illuminate the whole bar in cruise. You can choose different patterns for cruise. You can do anything you want. These bars are ran via a breakout box, which is a piece of technology that tells the light bar exactly what to do. And then you program the breakout box with your computer, your laptop or PC, and you feed the breakout box your input signals via wire or switches and or a controller head, and it allows you to control the bar. Now you can see in here we're using our Mini 6 controller as a switch for the switch capability to control this bar. I'll zoom in a little bit on it right there. It's a little hard to see the focus, but that is right now illuminating the cruise. And we've got several other switches. I'll show you what they do now. I did sneak the wiring right there into the HVAC vent. Try to be a little sneaky. And it does have 2 screws to hold the mount down. I did put the screws in, but I wanted to sneak the wiring without drilling a hole. That's what I was talking about right there. You can see kind of how it's mounted. Sorry about the light reflection, but that's how we mounted that controller right on the dash there. Alrighty, so this particular client, they do some auctions, and they're in and out of car dealers and different various places, and he wanted some warning because I guess there's some heavy traffic where he's working, and there's definitely a risk of getting struck by passing motorists while he's out doing his auctions. So we gave him a setup, front and rear, independently switched, and I also gave him a third button, which we called Pursuit, just for lack of a better term, and that speeds up the pattern, makes the light bar very aggressive and very fast. I did that because I figured if he's outside the car working and it wasn't a crazy risky day and people were driving normally, he could keep the light bar on the dimmer, or not on the dimmer, on the slower pattern here. It's not so hard to look at, a little bit easier on the eyes. And then if things got dangerous, he can then hit the Pursuit switch, which changes up the pattern, randomizes it quite a bit, also adds in the takedowns as well as the alley lights, which are white. So definitely adds a lot more punch to this bar, but I'll admit is pretty difficult to look at or walk around right close to the car. So when you need it, you need it. Alrighty, so here's a little off-axis shot for you. I did turn down the ISO. I'll turn it down even more so you can kind of see all the different colors there, how the bar's bouncing around. But this is more accurate portrayal here, right about there. Now the Pursuit switch. Pursuit switch will override the slower warning. So if you happen to have the slower warning on and you hit the Pursuit switch, it's just going to override it and give you this wild pursuit pattern. You can see there, the rear is activated now. I did tie in the alley lights to the rear switch, just because they're kind of on the rear side of the bar there. And I'll pull the vehicle forward and show you, but I did want to accent here that when you have rear activated only in the lame pattern, the slow pattern I call it, then you'll get rear only, just as shown. So if he happens to be working in the front of the car and he doesn't want all that action up front, he doesn't have to have it. Alrighty, so around the back here, as you can see, got the nice slow pattern doing its thing. That's what you get in the slow pattern. I moved a little off axis here so the camera doesn't get quite so blinded. I'll try and turn the ISO up a little bit. There you go. I leave the ISO right there so you can kind of see exactly what I'm looking at. I'll wave at you in the mirror there above my toolbox. Let me show you the arrow stick patterns. We programmed the rear to have arrow stick as well. So of course you can program a variety of patterns. Sound Off's very good about that. They give you all kinds of choices and functionality. So we went with this pattern for the arrow stick. Kind of like it. I think this is what they call chaser or oh, I forget. I'll post it in the video if I remember. But this is one of the many arrow stick patterns that we went with. And the arrow stick will override the rear warning if it happens to be on. It'll override the crazy warning as well, because arrow stick overrides all, right? We need the arrow for when you need an arrow, you need it to override everything. Now, of course, that arrow will go the other way just the same. You can't really see this far away, but there are 8 individual segments to that arrow stick, 2 outside corners and 6 inboard lights. So you get all 8 individual segments moving, which is a very effective arrow stick. Obviously, the wider the arrow stick, the better. But if you were to say have 8 lights, but you were activating them 2 at a time, you only really get 4 segments of movement. This has 8 segments of movement, which is very effective. And of course, if you push left and right together, you're going to get center out. And you can see here we went with a little bit faster center out pattern. This one flashes a few times at the end there just to get your attention. So as I said, a lot of different patterns for all the arrows. More patterns than you could ever memorize for all the warning. And the selectability is insane on this bar. You can even go as deep as setting some of the inside LEDs on the bar to one pattern and setting the corners to another. So if you wanted just the outside edges to be spastic and fast and the middle to be slow, you can do that in the programming. There's an app that you download for your PC, and you can get into every light head and control exactly what they all do. Massive amounts of control in these sound off products. There's a little bit of off-axis view for you. This particular light bar, extremely bright, so I'm going to go ahead and do an outside shot for you on this one as well. Alrighty, how y'all doing? This is your outside video. There you can see that Equinox just sitting there ready. We're going to do it like we did before in a different video. I'm going to take you down and around and show you a 360 of it out in the real street. You can tell it's sunny and bright here in Chicago, so we're getting a full daytime shot. No messing around with the ISO. Camera's on fully automatic. Alrighty, stand by. Thank you again for watching Wicked Warnings. Make sure you check the description for a link to our website. Drop us an email if you want some more information on this product, if you want to order one for yourself. And let me show you how we mounted this particular one. I forgot to mention this earlier, but this En-ROADS bar, it actually is mounted with a strap system right here. You can see this is like a very large heavy-duty seatbelt. You can see here where it mounts up right there inside the door jamb with the included stainless steel screws. Drill a tiny little pilot hole and hand tighten all those screws in there. And they say that this light bar is certified to 80 miles an hour with this particular strap. It's nice and strong, nice and snug. These front feet here, they're adjustable in and out. There's also an angle adjustment. This is a pretty cool system. So we might be seeing more of that here at Wicked Warnings. And I don't know if you guys care to see how I set up the controllers or not, but I'll show you anyways. So here's your main power button down here. It turns on and off the controller. And as I said, we've got your front lights for the front of the car. We've got your rear lights. We've got your left arrow and your right arrow. We've got your cruise. And we've also got, as I said, your pursuit, which You can see the reflection here does the crazy pattern. And then your front lights, you can see the reflection is a lot more lame, slowed down. So this particular controller we like a lot. You can see here how it mounted into the vehicle right there. Nice and out of the way. Easy to use. So thanks again for watching Wicked Warnings. Keep us in mind to remember we're your number one source for construction and emergency safety and strobe lighting equipment for cars, vans, trucks, buses, SUVs, and everything in between. Available only at Wicked Warnings. WickedWarnings.com